Hi folks, here we are. We're down in the Midlands of England. Nearest place is Hinckley. We've come down to see Jamie, the girls and Helen. This is where we're staying, the Premier Inn, but this is the end of it. The accommodation is actually stretched out the other side. These are good budget places. We've always found them very comfortable, good service. Nice. Attached to each of the inns is a pub, and there's ours there, the Brewers Fir, although that's the name of the company. It will have a separate name. But the main thing is, next to this one here is one of our canals, and that's what I want to show you a bit of. Bit of interesting history. Canals in England are quite old, centuries old in fact. These were the highways, the expressways during the Industrial Revolution, and they came about because of the amount of goods that needed to be transported from A to B. These were done on narrow boats, so called because they had to be restricted in width so they could get through the various locks. Let's show you a narrow boat. This narrow boat's all locked up at the moment, so you don't get a real good view of it, but this aft bit here where it says Princessa, that was the original cabin, and in that would be the bargee, his wife and however many kids they had. Forward of those double white doors, that would have all been the cargo hold, which would be filled with whatever the man could do. Our canal system started up in the northwest of England, very close to where we live, and it then extended sort of the length of the country. You can go from where we live, or even further north again, all the way down to London and into Wales on canals. Boats come in all shapes and sizes. This isn't very long, but of course nowadays they're used for recreational purposes, and in fact some people actually live on them full time. They tend to be quite brightly coloured, which is the tradition of the canal boat fraternity. They were sort of water gypsies. Once again we're blessed by glorious weather. This one's showing its heritage a bit. See the chimney stack fore and aft. That's where the heat would be provided by a stove. Nowadays of course they're gas fired and all sorts. Very much a recreation thing, but in days gone by these could carry hundreds of tons of coal initially. It was a coal merchant that built the first canal in Britain up by Manchester. But then they transported all sorts. Here's the pub, and as you can see they let all sorts of undesirables in. There's a couple of faces there that we know. Still tucking into breakfast while I'm out here working hard, fingers to the bone. I've already had my fill. See you later. The navigating position there, the tiller, no wheels on these things, hand operated rudder, the seat there for the helmsman or woman and the companion, plus the ducks of course. Our pub, would you believe, is called the Marina, which you'll see a bit of in a moment. And just beyond that you can see the gas store. That's for all the ships, the boats. That's the heating and lighting, or certainly the heating and cooking. Family of swans there with its cygnets. Don't know how long before they get the white feathers to show adulthood, or don't know how old they are, but a nice family group. And this is why the pub's called the Marina. There's a patriotic soul there. It's these things crop up from time to time. You can see the length of some of these boats, and as I say, some people live on them full time. quite a long length, but as you can see quite narrow, because that's so they can get through the locks. That smaller building there is the marina store, where people can buy all the food and various odds and sods for going on. See the length of some of these boats compared to the width. And of course they were full of cargo at one stage. Of course there's no lumps and bumps in the canals, so they're able to transport very delicate cargo like crockery, all the big ones you've heard of probably, crockery makers, says he, frantically trying to think of names, Royal Spode and there was can't remember the other guy that we've been to, but Wedgwood, that was it. They all transported their stuff on the canals because the roads were very rough in those days. Originally the barges, the longboats, were horse-drawn. There were cases of where they were actually man-hauled as well, the hard way to earn a living. But nowadays, of course, thanks to the internal combustion engine, they all run on fuel, and so there's your refueling point for this particular place. And here we are, dead lucky, not the jogger, but the boat coming along. You can see they have a very sedate pace. They're restricted to the speed they can go anyway, because if they caused any sort of decent sized bow wave, then they'd wash the banks away. But you can see we cover a fair few miles if we kept that up all day. Don't forget, it's only that end bit by the helmsman and his good lady. That was the original cabin that they brought a family up in. Those were the days, so they said. And so they sail off into the west, over the horizon and off the edge of the earth. This is what happens with the toast that you don't have at breakfast. Keep the animals happy, the birds.
Come away from the water, Lily. Through that one to one of the ducks over there.
And there's one of the swans. I don't know where the cygnets are.
Come away from the water.
Shelley and Jackie disappeared along the towpath. Here comes another boat. Notice how quiet it is. No great noise, roaring of engines or anything. They're very quiet. Very gentle ride. That's the way to do it. Yo ho ho and a rottle of bumps. Splice the main brace. All in the mainsail. Row fast, you buggers.